Welcome to Bears Banner. My name is Bernard Muhammad. Alongside of me tonight is Tammy Harris, Jaye Beasley, and Guy Moore. What you got there, Jay? The Bears Cup?
Super Bowl 20 champions, Chicago Bears.
Okay.
With
That's
everybody's
nice.
name listed. I just had to go ahead and put this out. One of my coworkers actually gave me this a couple of weeks ago. I was working with him and he was like, "Man, I was working with you and I had this cup and I wanted to bring it to you." So yeah, shout out to my boy Jimmy Sayre for hooking me up with a 20 a Super Bowl anniversary mug.
Oh man, that's nice. Nice. Super Bowl shuffle.
Hey, we
Hey,
are the Bears, shuffling crew.
right. Hey, when you think about that, I mean, I know we was talking off camera before we started, and man, today that wouldn't even be PC. I mean,
Right,
they would probably
right,
get called in
right,
saying that
right,
they was
right,
bullying the teams,
right,
that they were
right,
beating pretty
right,
bad, and they're
right,
bragging about it on social
right,
media, and
right.
so they're gonna take down the video.
Right, that's a 15. Right, that's a $15 million fine. How y'all gonna
Right.
do that? Y'all can't do that. That's
Uh,
today's NFL though. That's
right.
today's NFL.
Nothing.
Right.
Everything is different in NFL now.
Hey, I apologize if y'all start hearing my dog in the background cutting up. May hear him. I think he wants to go out, but I just walked him, so
You just
I
know
don't know.
Mega Man throwing your voice. That's what it is.
Yeah, hopefully my daughter get here shortly and come get him. Hey, what's up, Plank? At least I see Plank right there. Said 85 is the best defense ever.
Yes, indeed. It sure
Yeah,
was. Absolutely.
right.
Absolutely. The best
Hey,
defense ever.
I'm gonna mute my mic for a minute. If you could, either Jay or Tammy, one of y'all can take over for a minute, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna step off
Yeah,
plane for a
somebody.
second. Okay,
Somebody.
all right.
Please do not
Well,
kill your
I can
dog.
start off.
Go for it.
I can start off.
Let's
The
go,
Bears
brother.
are actually playing the Raiders this weekend,
Mhm.
which I think is a very interesting game
Yeah, it
because
is.
the Raiders got shellacked by the Chargers last week.
Yep.
They actually showed some deficiencies. They showed a few weaknesses on their defense as well as
Oh
their
my
offensive
goodness.
line. So I'm hoping that the Bears can put a game plan together that could actually neutralize their defensive ends and
Mhm.
get this running game going. It's unfortunate David Montgomery got hurt, but
Yeah.
this is a game right here where they could actually they could do some damage on the ground again.
Yes.
And the Raiders secondary is hurt. I think they both starting corners are out
Hmm.
with injury. So this is a game plan. If they put it together, this is a game that the Bears can win.
Yeah, they gave up 168 rushing yards too, as well as 380 total offensive. Uh, I, you know what? Before the game, and I did pick on the board that they were going to beat the Chargers. It wasn't that my intel was bad. It's just I kind of winged that, and I really wanted them to win because I wanted them to come in kind of soft. They might be kind of mad, but being mad now and not having the personnel probably won't matter. So I think that we could exploit their front line, their front. I believe that we can also exploit the secondary too, but. As long as we got laser, and another thing I want to tell you, and I'm gonna try to post on the page later, the press conference that Laser did. I liked it; it was concise. I actually felt like he answered questions that people had, very plausible questions about the offense, and he's talking about why Robinson has gotten fewer touches and stuff, and it wasn't like he was shying off anyway. So I actually felt rather informed. So let's get this dub.
And I always like to play a team coming off a loss, and coming off a short week. Yeah,
Yeah,
run that, run
yes, sir.
that,
We tell the fellas
run that.
don't
Let me get
gamble.
that. Let me get
Well,
that.
I think our defenses are kind of ranked close, but we're ahead of them. We're like 13. I think they're like 16.
Mhm.
So defensively, we can be competitive. Their offensive line, when I looked, they actually said they were actually worse than our offensive line, which I was surprised by. I think we were like 22, 23, and they're like 25, 26, something like that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
our defense could possibly, you know, put some pressure and make some stuff happen. But their offense is ranked a lot higher than ours. Their offense is ranked like 13. So I don't think the game is impossible to win, but I don't think it would be easy. They actually have to go in with a plan. I think we need to utilize our tight ends more, especially since we're not going to have David Montgomery. Cole Kmet can't have slippery hands, and can't be whining when
I was gonna say that, yo.
comes straight to him. Like, just like play, like stop trying. I'm all for trying to draw the foul if it's legitimately there, the penalty if it's legitimately there. But don't. I mean, there was a ball in the last game that he should have caught, and he was like whining for a penalty. I'm like, no, he should have caught. So like he needs to play, and play well when it comes to him. But the game is not impossible, but it's not necessarily easy.
Okay. Hey, I'd like to thank everybody who's watching us tonight on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch TV. Sorry for having to step away from the camera for a few minutes. My daughter's dog was kind of cutting up, and I'm the only one here, so he wanted some attention. But anyway, hey, let's step back, Tammy, because you're right. It's not impossible. Hey, Sunday actually marked the best offensive performance that the Bears have had this year. And I wanted to go back to the Lions game to look at maybe some of the positives that we could get from that game. Hey, Guy, what are the positives that you saw from the game Sunday that we probably could take into this game?
That you had a guy come up with 12 to 15 scripted plays and realize that within those plays for what he saw out on the field, just like Jay said, you call the game in front of you, didn't seem like he would be afraid to deviate from that. Number one, they played a lot faster. They played like they had some type of cohesion, some type of direction. I mean, the score may not be indicative of it, but from what I've seen, like I saw against the Lions, as I've seen in prior weeks, it's like night and day. It's like you don't feel like they can't get a yard or two. And now even with Montgomery out, it's like the next man up. I do believe in the schemes that they have and the timing that they have. They look good, and I know I've heard through the board and all over the place, oh, you beat the sorry Lions, but they in the NFL. You don't get to control the teams in front of you. You just play them and beat them. But I like the speed, the cohesion, and most importantly, they ran the ball.
Okay. Hey, Tammy, what did you saw as far as Sunday that we could take away from that game to use in this game?
I would agree with Guy. I think that, they played like they had a game plan. And I do believe that as needed, Laser would adjust and not just keep calling plays that don't work if it comes to that. I think Justin Fields was, he was finding his rhythm. He had a couple of really nice connections with Mooney and one with Robinson. He could have and should have had a connect with Kmet, but, Kmet missed that. The running game was strong. Even when Montgomery went out, Williams, he stepped up. He still ain't Montgomery, but, he stepped up. So I don't know if we would have as great of a running game as we did this past one, but we'll see. But I think, and the defense did their job. They showed up. But I would say, even though Plank, I never call it Plank, seems to think that we were hard on the defense. The defense can't stop after the first half or after the third quarter. Like, that was my only, kind of gripe with them. They did hold them to points. They did stop them in the red zone like they needed to when they needed to, 4 out of 6 times, I think. But you gotta play a whole game.
Yep, this is true. Very true. Uh-oh. Your mic, Bernard.
Oh, sorry about that. Hey, Jay, what did you see on Sunday that we could carry into this game against the Raiders?
Okay, first of all, I want to answer Bruce real quick. Why is the ball floating towards Robinson? Robinson got to get open.
Yep, there it is.
Now, don't get me wrong. I like Robinson. Robinson got to get open. But let's also realize, y'all, this is only the 4th game of the season. Our offense is ranked at the bottom of the NFL, 32nd out of 32 teams. So it's not a time to question Robinson right now. But as far as the recap of the game last week, the best thing you can do for a rookie quarterback is run the football.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears had 39 carries, 39 carries last week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields attempted 17 passes for 209 yards. So you know what that means? He completed 11 passes for 200 yards. That's almost, 20 yards a pass play?
Mm-hmm.
The first time the Bears had 5 plays or more that traveled over 20 yards in one game in a long, long time. So to recap, they had a great game plan. Running the football will help a rookie quarterback. Running the football opens up the play action pass. Unfortunately, I want to throw this stat out here. Through 4 games, our tight ends have 7 catches for 90 yards. That's not good for a rookie quarterback because he needs that safety blanket.
Which is why I said our tight ends need to get involved.
But if long as Laser can keep this balance and run the football, and I like Damian Williams. I believe in Damian Williams. Damian Williams should have been the MVP of the Super Bowl when he was with the Chiefs when they gave it to Mahomes. So he's a player. I'm interested to see what Herbert gonna do as his backup. They re-signed Artavius Pierce. So the running game was the key as far as recapping the Bears game last week.
Hey, you know what though? I'm gonna post when I get off here. I'm gonna post Laser's press conference because he touched on it. I think they asked him about Robinson. He's like, "Why doesn't Robinson? Is he your number one receiver? Why does he get catches?" And I heard a piece of it, and basically what it was logic. It was basically getting open, but we have to get the open man. And then you got a rookie quarterback out there. I mean, you're trying to slow the game down. I mean, he does understand the essential portions, running plays, the passes, as far as the routes and all that, because it's current concern. But going from even a great D1 school to NFL, the speed is so much different. The hole's closed, so he can't sit up and blink. And if he's to get Robinson, if Robinson was getting more catches in this situation, it would mean that Justin's holding the ball too long if he's not getting open. So.
And just think about I'm sorry, Bernard. Just to answer the Robinson question for Bruce. I mean, Allen Robinson got 13 catches for 149 yards in 4 games. And our offense is ranked 32nd in the league.
Yeah.
That sums it up right there.
Yeah.
Come on, Frat. Get with me, man. Get with me, man.
Hey, what I would like to say as far as what I could take from Sunday game is just the running game, just running the ball as consistent as you did Sunday. And if we could get the defense to keep that pressure on the quarterback like we did in Sunday game, I mean, that would be awesome. And I'm glad we did. Hopefully we fixed one of the problems we were having Sunday is with the special team punt returner, replacing him, because he actually allowed us to have at least I believe on 3 occasions where he allowed a ball to go over his head and it was down like within the 5-yard line. No, you got a fair catch that. So at least one of those problems have been solved as far as that. But hey, one of the breaking stories this week, or the biggest breaking story this week, is the Chicago White Sox in the playoffs. Hey, Guy, you like to talk about that? I thought I was saying but I thought about that. I don't want to ignore the fact that the White Sox are in the pennant race.
Yeah, but the good guys were the bad guys today. I mean, but you're supposed to win your home games. They were in Houston. They lost 6-1. Man, my boy Lance Lynn only pitched like 3.2 innings and he gave up 5 earned runs. He had 30 balls and 46 strikeouts. As a pitcher in the playoffs, that's just not acceptable at all. Let's see. Jordan Alvarez for the Stros had 2 runs, 2 hits, and 2 RBIs. But like I said, I mean, you know what? They actually the whole season they played like slightly under 500 ball against top teams, but they beat the bejesus out of low teams. This ain't the time to be, doing your thing. Just stay the course. We would ideally like to get 1 W up in Houston and come back home, but let's see what happens. Go White Sox.
Okay. And also, I'd like to mention that the Chicago Sky made the in the WNBA finals.
Candace,
So good luck to Candace
Candace,
Parker in the Chicago Sky. I think,
Candace.
yeah, I believe this is only the second time in the Chicago Sky's history of them making the finals.
Yeah.
She's
So
one of the smartest basketball players I've ever seen, men or women, man. I mean, it's something about her. The playoffs come on. This light came on. And it's like, I don't care what nobody say Vandersloot's cool. They got the squad. Everybody's nice. But Candace Parker is that vet, that Hall of Famer. It's like in the big plays, in the first 3 or 4 plays in that game, that clinching game, she got a block, she defended, she got a strip, and it just ignited everybody, man. I'm excited, man. Let's see what happens. Let's support the WNBA, man, especially Chicago Sky, considering that us and the Sox, or usually our Chicago teams, don't make the playoffs. If they going, I don't care if it's tiddlywinks, I'm there.
Right.
okay. Hey, I just wanted to at least mention those two before we actually did get to the biggest story this week. But you would think the Chicago White Sox and the Sky would be biggest stories, but that show that this is a Bears town. It doesn't matter what those other teams do. If the Bears do something that appears to be bigger, we're gonna talk about the Bears. But anyway, the big story this week is Justice Fields being named the starting quarterback going forward. It's a few things I wanted to talk about before we actually get to our predictions. So, what is your opinion on Justin Fields being named the starting QB going forward? What you got on that, Jay?
I was just laughing because I saw was it Nagy decision.
It wasn't that good decision.
I don't care whose decision it was. The bottom line is you can't go back to Andy Dalton because here's the situation. And I've been explaining this on social media forever, and I'm not going to take too much time to explain this. The Bears signed Andy Dalton in March.
Yep.
Because the only quarterback on the roster was Nick Foles.
Yep.
The Bears was drafted in 20 in the 21 NFL draft. They didn't know they was going to be able to get one of the top 5 quarterbacks at 20. So when you sign Andy Dalton, because you only have Nick Foles on your roster, you be like, Andy Dalton, hey, come sign with us. Because if you sign with us, you will be our number 1 quarterback. Then April comes, and here comes the draft. The Bears are sitting at 20. The Giants are sitting at 11. Justin Fields is still on the board. Ryan Pace like, okay, there's Justin Fields. Let's make the trade. Now you make the trade. So now you have Justin Fields, who you didn't think he was going to get because you was looking at a Kellen Mond or a Mills Davis or Davis Mills. You was looking at them guys in the 2nd or 3rd round. So Justin Fields should have been able to compete for the starting job in training camp. But because they told Andy Dalton, hey, Andy, we'll give you $10 million because you can be our starter because we don't have nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom line is this. You play the best player at the position. And I understand if Nagy wants to be like, I gave him my word. But guess what? You don't owe Andy Dalton nothing. Andy Dalton has did nothing for the Chicago franchise. You don't owe him nothing. You start the rookie. Unfortunately, Dalton got hurt. Insert rookie, lose one game, come back, win the game, albeit against the Lions. But a win is a win, as we say, and we'll take it. You move forward with the rookie because Andy Dalton gives you nothing. If Andy Dalton takes you to the playoffs, is Andy Dalton in your squad next year? If Andy Dalton gets you to 7-10, is Andy Dalton on your squad next year? You need to play the rookie to see if you got your franchise quarterback moving forward. And I don't know who twisted Nagy's arm. I don't care who did it. If Virginia rolled down to the locker room herself and said, Matt Nagy, play Justin Fields, I don't care. The decision has been made. Justin Fields is your starting quarterback.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey, Guy, what do you think as far as Justin Fields being named a starter? And was it Nagy's decision?
Is a pig's butt made out of steel wool? Nah, it's pressure, but you know what? I mean, I can go into a few things. People, the greatest oxymoron that I hear all the time is they say, on one hand, Justin Fields is just not ready. This offensive line is just not sticking up. But then the same people turn right around and say, oh, the NFL is soft. They cry over little stuff. Back in the day, if you was the rookie quarterback and you got the job and you won, guess what? It's like, look, pick up. Yeah, I know you did a face plant and they sacked you like 13 times. Just pull the grass off and just run the next play. But now that it's a business, they're paying more guys money. And I can kind of see that. But that's neither here nor there. I posted a press conference on the page for Justin Fields. And when he found out he got the starting job, his parents were there and his parents were with him. And he's like, hey, let's go get something to eat. He's like, nah, is that guy on the Bears staff? Dude got the whole setup.
You talking about you guys?
Yeah, that would be me. You wait till you see my snow cone, my snow goat, my snow thing paperweight. I'm gonna put that on later. But anyway, you hear guys talk the talk, and okay, let's see if you can walk the walk. But a lot of times, with a lot of us, it's common sense. You can kind of listen to someone talk and sort of get their demeanor. They asked him, his parents are like, oh, let's go out to eat. He said, no, I can't go out to eat, and it's a great thing. Don't get me wrong. They said, what'd you do? He said, I ended up sitting at the house with my dog watching film. If he's not ready, what is? He's very mature. The dude has got, we're not even talk about the attributes he has. That's a given. But his maturity, his ability to be able to forget but remember, like, yeah, I got smashed, but it doesn't scare him enough. Now he knows what to do. Nagy already know that basically if they don't at least go to like the second or third round, he's done. And Pace is like, look, man, it's almost like we know we might even still go. Play the kid. We'd have paid him this money. Andy Dalton can't be mad because, number one, he's a vet. He understands it. Number two, Andy Dalton sitting on the bench making what he makes. If you go to your job tomorrow and look at your CEO and CFO, Andy Dalton make more money than they do to sit on the bench. So I think he's probably going to be okay. I understand the competitive standpoint, but even when he showed up to training camp, he saw Justin Fields. It's like, man, I don't know how long I'm going to have this job.
Right.
So it is what it is, man. I'm glad he is playing, and I don't really care whose decision it is. I'm glad that he's able to go get his pains. And I think that you're going to, the next, say, 3 games, by the next 3 games, a whole lot of people going to forget about that whole, oh, he should have started. You're going to start seeing that stuff.
Hey,
Tammy.
real
quick. I'm sorry, real quick. This funny to me, real quick. I just want to say, I like Justin Fields because his dog named Uno.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't beat that. My dog is named Uno. What's my number? I'm number 1. I love it. But go ahead.
Same question, Tammy.
Well, I definitely don't think it was Nagy's decision. I feel like you could tell a little bit from the interview. He seemed like he was, eating a little crow, in my opinion. But I do think that it was the right decision. I think in the beginning I said that I knew they weren't going to start Justin, but I thought they would have him in about game 4. Would be about the time that they made the switch. And it's not the time to go back because that was the time at the latest that I thought you should have started him to begin with. So now I agree with Jay. You need to go forward and see what you have. If he's going to be our quarterback next year, then use this year to get him ready, to work out the kinks, to let him find his cadence, his rhythm, his confidence, and his poise, and get familiar with the playbook and everything. So just, let this be his on-the-job training year so that next year we can come out and really compete.
Yeah, that's a good point, Tammy. This is also one of the problems when you may have a coach and general manager that may be on the hot seat. I'm not sure if they are. They may not be. I'm not sure. But if they perceive they are, they go to the philosophy of let's play the guy that gives us the best chance to win philosophy. Okay. With that said, I don't believe Andy Dalton give you the best chance to win.
Right.
But I do know coaches will try to go with veterans using that philosophy because why? The veteran has the experience. But with that said, I don't believe this was Nagy's decision, but it really doesn't matter. I'm kind of like looked at his body language. He kind of seemed a little slumber about it. But you know what? It's not about you. It's not about how many wins you get. The Bears gave up 4 picks to get this kid. And you cannot blow years of development by worrying about a coach trying to stack his resumes to make sure he keeps his job or he get enough wins for his next job. That's irrelevant. What's relevant is you should have had this kid ready in the preseason. What you did was made him kind of be unprepared in one sense by having him play too long with the second string and the scout team. He should have been working out with the number ones probably 50 to 60% of the time, all through training camp and all through preseason. But besides that point, I'm glad the Bears made that decision. And I was looking at our Facebook users and the Bears Banter Facebook page. 89% of the people polled in Bears Banter Facebook group agreed that Justin Fields agrees with him being named the starter. I think we had about 4 or 5 people who disagree, and we had maybe 3 or 4 people who were undecided on this particular decision.
Hey, man, you know what? Can I throw something in there real quick? Oh, go ahead, Jay.
Go ahead. No, I just want to say the body language that you saw from Nagy. See, Nagy wants Dalton to start because he feels like Dalton can run his offense. That's what this is all about. This is about this dude's ego, man. He feels that the veteran can adapt more to his offense with him calling plays. But when you flip the script and you get a play calling to Bill Lazor who understands how to utilize a quarterback skill set, he looks, as Tammy said, he eat crow. I don't know how crow tastes. I ain't never had crow. Some people say it tastes like chicken.
It tastes like chicken.
It tastes like
chicken. But that's the bottom line with this, man. That is the bottom line with this. He wants Dalton to start because he feels like he can call plays with Dalton running the offense.
Hey, let me go into a little offense thing.
One of the things we like to do on Bears Banner is we do like to interact with people who are actually watching us live. So we kind of operate it almost like a person calling in with a phone call where we at times see things, we interact. And there's something that was brought up as far as a question while we were talking. I want to see if Tammy would like to answer this question right here. So are we trashing the season by starting Justin Fields?
Not trashing. No, I don't think that's trashing. You're preparing for the future. You're investing in the future. And sometimes you have to take a step back to take 3 steps forward. And so will we win the Super Bowl this year? Anything's possible, but not likely. But will we set ourselves up better to win the Super Bowl next season? Possibly. You'll have definitely to be more competitive. So I wouldn't say we're trashing the season, but I mean, how much of a season did we really think we were going to have with Andy Dalton? So is it trashing? Thank you. Trashing your season to prepare yourself for the future? I don't think so.
Thank you.
I completely agree with you 1,000,000%, Tammy.
Because let me answer you, Bruce, again. You're so active tonight, Frat. Let me answer. Let me put this down on you. You look at our next games, okay? Everybody looks at the schedule at the beginning of the year like, oh no, we're not gonna win that game. Oh no, we're not gonna win that game. Okay, guess what? Jimmy Garoppolo hurt. We play San Francisco in the next few weeks. The Raiders are decimated with injuries. We play them this week. Green Bay, that's a game. It's a game. It's at home. We got the Ravens. I don't know what we finna be. That's why they play the games. I told somebody on social media a couple of days ago. They said that Buccaneers was going to go 17-0. That didn't happen. Who would have ever thought the Chiefs would lose 2 games in a row? That just happened.
Yeah.
This is the NFL, man. We got to play Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh look like the Lions right now.
And guess what? They only won by what, 3 points to they only lost by what, 3 points to the Raiders?
Yes.
I mean, no, the Raiders only lost by 3 points, or they lost 3 points by the Raiders. So
look, that's why they play the games. That's why they play the games.
But I hate to keep going back to this, but this is the only analogy that I can use for some people that are sort of in our age range and still have YouTube. And would you know this, Lefty? Because I know you was a football hog too. Remember Troy Aikman's rookie season? He went 0-11. This was before they got Emmitt Smith from Florida. Man, he was getting waxed, and he look up, laid out on the ground with that grass in his face, and he turned and looked like this. And Jimmy Johnson, get your ass up and get in the huddle and call this next play. And you know what, though? As heinous as it sounds, even though 2 years later he got sacked 13 times, where's Troy Aikman? In the Hall of Fame. How many rings does he have? 3. It's football, and I know what people are trying to say, man, but by the same token, man, when it comes to us as a squad, we're not trash the season, man. You can only work with what you got. You could throw in a pickup here, like the punt return that we got. You can pick up some guys from the free agency, but this is what you have. And what I love about Laser being in the spot right now, kind of piggybacking on what Jay was saying, when you have a guy that understands, if people really understand the true tenement of the pistol offense basically was created for a tall, slow quarterback who could see over the line and kind of give him a better view of passing lanes. But there are 3 quarterbacks who ran under the pistol, and they totally revolutionized. They put a single back there. Robert Griffin, Colin Kaepernick, Justin Fields. What do all 3 of them have in common? They all can run. They all got nice arms. So you just got to work with what you have, man. It ain't like we could just make a phone call and get down on defense or go get Julio Jones. But I don't think we trashing the season. Trashing the season, we probably wouldn't never score.
We'll be trashing the season if Andy Dalton was the starter for the year. That's my opinion.
Yeah. So Plank could not make it on the broadcast tonight, but Plank actually sent the answer to this question that Hollywood asked. He said, "We are not trashing the season. The Bears are getting to be an older team, and they need to infuse some youth in order to be viable moving forward." That's an excellent answer, Plank. And I think that's one of the things that we have as fans, and especially when we're in big cities like Chicago, New York, and places like that. We don't want to do anything that resembles rebuilding, change. Or rebuilding, right? Anything that looks like it could be like rebuilding. We don't want to do it because we say, well, we're Chicago, we're New York, or whatever. But you know what? We have never had a quarterback like this.
Never.
We have never had a quarterback like this. We've had quarterbacks like my classmate Zeb said that had parts of this, right? We had quarterbacks with a great arm that maybe was mobile, like a Jay Cutler. But sometimes you kind of question the intelligence as far as football IQ. Then you had quarterbacks that were just mobile but was inaccurate.
Didn't have no arm.
No arm. Then you had quarterbacks like an Eric Kramer that only had, a contract year, good year. You had people, a couple other quarterbacks like that.
Jim Miller.
He had the one, but we got a quarterback that we actually realistically could be here for the next 15 to 18 years, whatever it might be. And it's so important to get them in there, and you can't worry about the wins and losses. I mean, what you can't do, like, for example, I'm gonna say this again, you can't do like what the Dolphins was doing last year with Tua. You can't. Okay, we win one with Tua, then we lose one, then we're gonna go back to
Fitzpatrick. Then we go back to Tua.
Now Patrick wins 2, then he lose 1, then we're gonna go back to Tua. You cannot develop a quarterback like that. To me, you showing you don't have any confidence in the guy when you're doing that. So you can't worry about if you're trash in the season, guess what? You're building for the future. And right now, you're better off. If you're going to be bad, be bad. What you don't want to be is you can't have 8-8 no more. But what you can still be is in that draft hell where you drafting, you're just bad enough to not draft high, and you're not good enough to say you don't need enough other parts, and you done gave up a bunch of picks. So
because you ain't got no first round pick anyway. Next year.
Have a first round pick anyway.
What difference do it make? You ain't got a first round pick anyway.
So we got Eric, one of my classmates. Eric says,
"What's
Bears,
up?
Five. What do you say? 5.5 dogs.
5 dogs.
Okay,
yeah, against the Raiders.
Against the Raiders Sunday. Do they cover for the spread? We got another comment for.
Yeah, Eric, they gonna cover because they're gonna win.
The same pistol information has RG out of football.
Come on, Square.
It's not really the pistol that has RG out of football.
It's the player.
It was the player. I would say one of the things what happened with RG3 was this is one of the things. It may be kind of off topic, and I'm gonna get back on the
RG3 run the football.
Go ahead, Bernard.
Soon as he got in the league, he did something that was very unusual. He took all these endorsements and started doing all these commercials, and but that was the time that he should have been getting ready to be a starter, and he was doing all this commercial stuff. Then you got the other stuff with the coach, and they always kind of claim, which I don't know, that there was some kind of locker room thing that was going on with RG3. I don't really know, but it was not the formation that got RG3 out of football. There was an injury, and then he should not have went back in that game. But that has nothing to do with his preparation. After he came back from that injury, and on other teams, he done got a couple opportunities, and he still hasn't looked any better. And it had nothing to do with him being mobile or not. He just never really, I don't believe, he was just overrated. That was just the bottom line. Jay.
Okay. Love it. At the end of everything Bernard just said, he said overrated. You are exactly right. I'm so tired of people trying to compare Justin Fields to RG3 and compare him to Lamar Jackson. Justin Fields is a different animal, man.
A totally different animal.
This dude is humble. He's been humble from the time he's been in high school, from the time he went in college, and now in the NFL. This is no comparison to all these other people that they're trying to compare him to. And that's what I want people to understand. RG3, Bernard said it, was overrated. On a side note, I want $100 bet with a coworker because he told me RG3 was going to be better than Andrew Luck. And I told him, I was like, no, he's not. I was like, no, he's not. At the end of that season, I was like, run my money.
Yep.
Study your players before you. Everything is not all about the eye test. The eye test can lie to you.
Yep. And there's the aura.
Study your information, man.
You know what I think happened with RG3, man?
Justin Fields is not RG3.
Right, but that's like the dude that can't dunk, but you get him this shoe endorsement with this shoe that guarantees that he's going to dunk better. He still can't even touch the net with his fingers, and he's 6'8". You know what I'm saying? The thing is with RG3, okay, here's the deal with him. And it's even, and to me, it's a little deeper than that. 3.8 grade point average, graduated in 3 years. He's the black guy. Wait, like black folks can't be smart. You know what I'm saying? But he's a quarterback. So it's like, his cognizance level is off the chain. He's very fast. He really knows the offense. Knowing the offense and understanding the offense is two different beasts. Things. And here's the deal, too. Everybody was telling RG3 his head was this size. By game 4, game 5, his head got bigger. And what happens, some people, quarterbacks, are lucky enough to kind of like not scoot and slide on that run and get popped and be like, oh, not to do that. He wasn't one of them. They lit him up like a Christmas tree. And then when he got hurt, he was just never the same guy. So now it's the pressure of, okay, they said I was great. They said I was all that. I got to live up to that. Justin Fields is a completely different dude. First and foremost, I don't imagine. I would imagine if I went to a club just randomly in Chicago, I think one person I would say is probably not going to be there is Justin Fields. And I'd be more than likely sure that he's either going to be with his family or he's going to read. When you start getting a guy like that, I said this word about him. I said a generational talent. He's probably if he keeps it up, he's going to be the greatest quarterback that we've ever had. But if God, if God willing that he stays healthy and everything, with all the tangibles that he has, and if they can just do him right, this gonna be a laugh, and this gonna be a conversation we'll laugh about in 4 years.
Hey,
Okay,
Tammy.
hey, guy, real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody said, let's stop talking. Let's stop talking. Hey, they want Tammy back on the screen.
They want Tammy on the screen.
Right.
Go. And there she is.
Hey, Tammy, let's move to the next question so we could get to the predictions. I know we got off track a little bit.
And Tammy can go first.
Yeah, Tammy, we're going to let you go first. I told you, Tammy, you had fans.
Do y'all know who that is? Like you said, hey, so hey, I don't know who he is.
I know you got fans, Tammy. Hey, Tammy, what do you think we need to do to win this game against the Raiders?
Go in with a game plan. Go in with a game plan like we have for this one. I mean, the game for, I can take a loss. I can't take embarrassment. And every team is going to have, ups and downs, good years and bad years. We expect that. But the last thing that you want is to be embarrassed. And through much of the first three games, we were embarrassed. So go in with a game plan, play a balanced game like we did between running the ball and connecting, for the deep passes, like y'all said. But if the run game does not come together like we need to because Montgomery is not there, then our tight ends got to step up and make some stuff happen so that, we can still move the ball down the field like we need to. And the defense has to play 4 quarters. So okay. I won't say put Nagy in the chokehold and lock him in the locker rooms because he letting somebody else call the play. So I won't say that.
Hey, I'd like to thank everybody who's watching us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch TV. Hey, Guy, what do the Bears need to do to win this game?
How do you stop an offense who's supposedly better than yours from scoring as many points as they do? You control the clock. Stop, coming into a huddle without, coming out the huddle without an idea, looking crazy, calling baseless timeouts. I have confidence that Lays is going to have a game plan up for them because I'm quite sure that, when I worked at the Ritz-Carlton, it's kind of sort of getting away with the same. When the NBA players would come in, their personnel would come in with this thick stack of paper they needed copies for. And what it was a score of every game. It was all the stats. And they had like a semblance sheet, which basically said, like, for example, Cordell Patterson. Anytime you see him in the backfield by himself, it's going to be a jet sweep. So it's not something that everybody don't know. They know your plays. They know your tendencies and your likelihood. Everybody knows what everyone else is going to do. You just have to stop it. So if you run the plays, just go and have a real good game plan. The defense do what they do. And most importantly, control the clock. I think that we can pull this out.
Okay. Hey, Jay, what do the Bears need to do to win this game?
Run the football.
Yep.
They got to run the football. You got to establish the run. Because when you establish the run, you let the rookie be able to be the rookie phenom. And him being the rookie phenom is completing passes down the field, 20 yards or more, with a great running game. And on defense, we got to get to Derek Carr. Derek Carr gets rattled.
Yeah,
you hit him a few times. He gonna get rattled. I watched him Monday night against the Chargers. Joey Bosa was putting it on him.
Yeah, he was.
And once you get to him and rattle him a little bit, then you got Chucky on the sideline frowning all up like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Get to the quarterback on defense and run the ball on offense, because running the ball on offense will open up the passing game, as we saw against Detroit. The Raiders ain't Detroit, but their secondary is banged up and they can be had. Yep. So that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, I agree. I believe the Bears defensive line need to show out and show up early to send a message early, and you're going to get Derek off his game. I mean, no quarterback like pressure, period. But take that pressure off your secondary. Whatever blitz packages you need to do, but they was doing good enough last week. I know it's different from team to team, but keep that pressure on the quarterback, run the ball. And also what I like to see is the Bears use their tight ends a little bit more. I mean, take those plays. I mean, you don't have to have big plays, and I know some of it's going to require that Justin actually make that in, I don't know, progress through his reads a little faster, or just take that tight end right away. Have some rollouts that's designed to go straight to the tight end. Move the pocket. Let him be a little bit more mobile. Run some naked boots. Use all his assets that he have. Make him more as comfortable as possible. And this should be a good game. This is one of these games that I'm still kind of trying to figure out who I'm going to pick. But let's go to the bragging rights.
Hold on, real quick. When you were saying Justin Fields, talking about the takedown and all that, the thing I like about Justin Fields had a couple of takedowns last week, and he was like, I'm not going to throw that. I want the big play. 2 plays. The play he hit in the middle with Robinson, he had a check down that was wide open. He was like, I don't want them 5 yards. I want the chunk play. That last play that he hit with Mooney on the sideline, he was like, I don't want them 5 yards. I want the chunk play. This is what I like in a quarterback. So take the check down when it's open, yeah. But if you got the guts and the arm talent to put it on a rope in that window, I'll take that all day long. All day long, I'll take it.
You got 2 or 3 running backs in the backfield anyway. If you ever, and I tell people, like, a lot of times we look at different nuances. Look at the defenses when Justin Fields comes on the field. Look at their whole demeanor. It's totally different. It's like they treat him, he's a quarterback, but they treat him like another running back. He's probably one of the greatest decoys that we got. He could fake an RPO and just give it to a guy, and everybody's going to go with him and say, oh, he didn't get it. He is like a huge asset. And then to have an arm like that and that accurate, man.
Right. Hey, let's move to the bragging rights right now. We got Quick is 3-1. Guys 3-1. I'm 2-2. Plank is 2-2. And Tammy is 2-2. Hey, since Tammy fans are cheering for her tonight, if Tammy doesn't mind.
Tammy.
If Tammy doesn't mind going over the injury report, I'm about to pull it on the screen in a minute. Let me pull that up. It's a little bit more challenging for me when Plank is not on the broadcast. Okay, there we are, the injury report.
Let me see if I can see without, or if I have to take off my glasses. Your eyesight gets weird when you over 40. Sometimes I need my glasses, sometimes I don't. Can you make it a little bigger?
Yes, let me see. How do I make it bigger?
I see David Montgomery with the knee. Akeem Hicks. Groin? Is that what they said? Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. And hold on, let me see if I could. You know what? I'll read it since I know you're having a little problem to read it. I'm trying to see if I can make it a little bigger. Okay. Is that too big?
Yeah.
Okay. So this the challenge of we're not trying to do this without Plank. Hold on, let me go back. Where you at, Plank? There we go.
So we got David Montgomery with the knee, Akeem Hicks with the groin, Khalil Mack with the ribs and the foot. I didn't know that. Darnell Mooney with the groin. Ugh. Damian Williams with the groin.
That's a quad for Damian Williams.
Quad.
Oh, quad, sorry. Mm-hmm. Deion Bush with the shoulder. Tayshaun Gibson with the hamstring on our side. And the only one that's out is Montgomery for sure. On the Raiders, you got Jonathan Abram with the shoulder, Damon Burnett with the groin, Peyton Barber with the toe, Derek Carrier with the pectoral, and Darren Waller with the knee.
Ah, that's interesting. Darren Waller with the knee.
Wait, there's didn't say anybody was out. Those are just injuries, right?
Yeah, I don't think the official report at the time we did it, the official report was not out at that point. It just had those who had not practiced or had indicated some type of injury. So, hey, let's look at the next thing as far as
You
this.
getting coached.
Right.
Plus said
Right.
control plus to make it bigger. Control minus to make it smaller. Thank you very much, Frank. See, even
He
when he
is the
ain't working, he
techie in the
working.
group.
He is, yeah.
He is the techie in the group.
Yeah, so let's look at this here, what we have going on now. This is something that we probably need to know as we go into the offense and defensive ranking. The Bears, as Jay mentioned earlier, the offense is ranked 32nd. The average points per game is 16. Let me put on my reading glasses so I can see this now, Tammy. It's 16. Average rushing yards per game for the Bears is 122 yards. The average passing per game is 114. The Raiders offense ranked 5th. They average 26 points a game. Rushing per game, 80 yards. Average passing yards per game, 326 yards. The Bears are ranked 12th on defense. The Raiders are ranked 19. The Bears allow 22 points a game on defense. The Raiders allow look like 25 per game. The Bears give up 112 yards per game rushing. The Raiders give up 132 yards. Bears allow 238 passing yards per game, and the Raiders allow 220 passing yards per game.
But we lead the league in sacks.
We do lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, and we lead the league in sacks. Okay, so hey, as we saw that information, we just did the injury report, and now we're down to the moment of truth on the predictions. I'm still trying to. Are you pointing to Tammy?
Don't do me first. I'm still on the fence.
I think I did see a prediction from
Going back and forth in my mind. I'm trying to figure out what's gonna come out of my mouth.
Yeah, I'm still going back and forth myself, Tammy. You know, looking at some of these injuries and.
We can start with Jay.
I can go first.
You'll go first, Jay? Okay.
Yeah,
I wrote down my scores, but
looking at this game, looking at the statistics, y'all know I'm a stat guy. Looking at the morale of the team right now, looking at the Raiders lost last week, or a few days ago, actually. I'm picking the Bears. I just think that the Bears got some momentum rolling, even without David Montgomery. I think with Bill Lazor calling the plays, the Bears gonna have some momentum rolling into this game. The lights ain't gonna be too big for Justin Fields. He's been in the lights all his life, so this is not going wow him any kind of way. But I'm predicting the Bears to win 27-23.
Okay, Jay has the Bears winning 27-23. I actually wrote down mine, so I don't mind going next. Okay, I've been tossing it in my mind a lot today in the last few days, looking at the matchups, looking at the injury report, looking at the Bears' strengths, the Raiders' strength. I do think I am concerned about our secondary, and the Raiders got some nice receivers, but I think our defensive line is going to prevail in this game, and they're going to neutralize that time in the pocket. And I think the Bears are riding on a high, and Justin Field is feeling good. I picked the Bears to win 31-24.
Whoa! The Bears putting on some points this week, baby.
And we come to you last, Tammy. What about you, guy?
It was interesting watching that game, and it was like everybody talked about what the Raiders were and stuff like that, and they made them look bad. I mean, there were a lot of deficiencies that they had that I thought were there. I mean, you also got to think too. We have more rushing yards. They just have more passing yards, and I do think that our front can kind of get to Carr, and if you could rattle them a couple times, smack them down, I think we're gonna be good. Got the Bears 27-24.
Okay, you have Bears 27 and the Raiders 24. Plank has the Bears 27 and the Raiders 21. Okay, we all got the Bears so far, scoring some points. What you got, Tammy?
Oh Lord.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Okay. Y'all know I always want the Bears to win. Like the Bears are always my pick in my heart. I'm so torn. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to. I said the score was going to be 28-24.
Right.
Who do I go with?
Tammy, that's what I did too. I wrote down the score.
Go ahead.
I wrote down the
Tammy.
score, Tammy, but I hadn't picked anybody.
She picked the Raiders.
She gonna pick the Raiders. She gonna pick the Raiders.
My Lord. I'll go with the Bears, but I'll go with the Bears. I'll make it unanimous. I'm gonna go worry.
You gonna go? Okay. I didn't get Quick's pick. I had to get his pick, so I'm not sure what Quick is gonna pick.
31-13.
Bruce said 31-13. Wow.
You know, I think Hollywood needs to be taken to the woodshed.
Wood.
That's okay.
She trying to give you that wood.
Hey, that's okay, Bruce. Hey, Bruce, I'm gonna tell you something. Bruce, I'm off Thursday and Friday, man. We're gonna have to go have a cup of coffee or something. I need to calm you down. 31-13. Come on, man. I'm gonna do Chris Carter on you. Come on, man.
Yeah, so it depends on what Quick picks. So either all of us is going to get a W and we're gonna still have a tie going on, or if Quick pick the other way, he's the only one, he's gonna be in first place all along, man, and we're gonna have to hear that.
I ain't worried about it. I ain't worried about it. I'm really not. I think I got more confidence in the Bears this week than I had in them last week, and they was playing a lot.
I do too.
So that tells you how I feel about it right now. I really do.
Yeah. So hey, let me do a recap real quick on the scores. We have Guy picked the Bears, and correct the scores if I wrote it down wrong. Please do, everyone. I have Guy picking the Bears 27-21. Plank picked the Bears
27-24 for Guy.
Okay. Guy has the Bears 27-24. Plank has the Bears 27-21. Jay has the Bears 27-23. Tammy has the Bears 28-24. Caveat, she was kind of reluctant.
Caveat.
And I had the Bears 31-24. And then we had a couple of viewers who actually had shared their scores. Unfortunately, I didn't log into Facebook to get some of those scores. But as far as those who put it on the broadcast, we have Bruce Hollywood, who picked the Raiders 31-13. And I believe I saw somebody else who had posted a score earlier. No, I don't see one. I think that was it as far as scores. But I didn't get a chance to look at some of the Facebook fan page to see what some of those scores were. So what we want to do is make sure if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button at the bottom. Like that. That's click it. You don't even think about it. Just click it. Click it. You know,
it ain't gonna
once, not twice, because you hit twice, you're gonna unsubscribe. So click it once, then forward it to somebody else and have them subscribe to the page. And if you're on Facebook, invite somebody else to the page and tell them how much fun this page is and how much fun this show is. We keep it real. We keep it 100 on this show. We talk about almost everything. We don't take ourselves too serious, but we do take ourselves serious too. But one of the things I will always say about this show is it's a smart people on this show. I always say that all the time. And just on Sunday, right as we were about to close out, Jay was able to get on just as he had went to watch the game. And I asked him, hey, did he want to do a recap on what he had missed? And Jay brought up special teams. None of us had brought up special teams at that point. And Jay brought up special teams. And Jay talked about how the Webster, who was actually the punt returner, was going to be frying fish if he kept letting that ball bounce over his head. So I think he got hired at Doc's today on 87th Street.
Your boy is at the fish fry. He up in Doc's. Nah, he had that mama pop store with that fan that got 3 blades on it and the dust. But on a whole nother note, some of our listeners happen to have a liking for Tammy. He's probably like, hey, baby, I want to.
Hey, but that's what it is, though. What happens is when you are on a roster to do one job and you can't do it, they got to get rid of you because
it's like deuces.
A lot of times what happens is when you got a punt returner or a kick returner, they are contributing on special teams. They contribute in some kind of package on the offense or some kind of package on the defense. This guy was only signed to return punts. I can pronounce his name now. Is Nisimba Webster. They signed him. They signed him off the San Francisco 49ers practice squad just to field punts. You ain't doing that, bruh. Guess what? We got to get rid of you. We'll trade a 6th rounder. We'll get Jakeem Grant from Miami, who is an all-pro punt returner. Who's an all-pro punt returner.
Yeah.
And we'll send you to Doc's on 87.
Yeah. hey, Jay, and I just wanted to bring that up again because, from playing football and coaching football for years, I know not filling a punt is it could be detrimental to your offense. I know one on our Facebook fan page mentioned about the yard mentioned the rule about normally if the ball comes to about the 10-yard line and if it's going over your head, you let them go. But what you do, but you have to be judging that, right? You just can't let it go if the guys are right in front of you because now the chances of it going to the end zone is slim now. So either you're going to have to, because you got a halo around you, they have to let you catch the ball, or you got to get in a way or something, but you cannot because now that affects your play calling and everything, which 3 times last week, it had the Bears starting, like I said, on the 3-yard line.
3-yard line.
And now you're calling like bunch packages just to get room, just so you can run your play. Now when you punt the ball, under stress. And now you lucky if you get the ball back out to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, you like a first down away from a field goal.
Yeah, you to get that team all they need is maybe 2 first down and they're in field goal range. So that's why it's so important that the person back there playing special teams cannot let balls go over their head consecutive times and is down within that. No, that cannot happen. That cannot happen because that affects your whole thing. Because who wants to go 97 yards 3 or 4 consecutive times if they score?
I don't know if the rule has changed, but it was always like you fair catch the ball at the 10 or further. If the ball bounces at the 10, but you still got to make a play. Because the bottom line is, even if you're not going to catch it, you fake it, you look at, you fake it, you fake it, you fake it. And they looking at you to make a play, and then maybe the ball bounces in the end zone. But anything 10 yards or up, you got to fair catch the ball. You cannot let them down the ball inside the 5-yard line. That's football 101.
And it's a holding call waiting to happen, too, when the guys is blocking. Because a lot of times they probably look over there, looking back like, oh, man. So, got to return the ball.
Hey, guy, that's an excellent point. That's actually is a great point. Because when that happens in the game, the other guys start realizing things falling apart, and it does more than often. When a ball goes over a guy's head, you do get a penalty for holding. It almost happens simultaneously because why? They're trying to block the gunners, and then they realize the ball.
That
those
you ain't
guys
catching the ball, right?
catch the ball, and so those guys start grabbing the guy, trying to keep him from being able to down the ball, or they're trying to block him out of bounds and trying to keep him out of bounds, and they get that penalty. So now you end up being what? Half the distance of the goal.
Half the distance of the goal.
Yeah, so that does happen to so many things in football. And for all us who are football fans, you know, which is everybody on this show and those who watching, football is about momentum. I remember Jim Brown, the great Jim Brown, said it's 2 or 3 plays per game that could change the outcome of a game, and it's only about momentum. It's not more. It ain't so much about what that play is, but it's how that play makes the players react. And even though they are professional players, you'll have players who go, you know, you can see it like, oh man, here it go again. And that's the momentum that you don't want to have in your special teams. Your special team guy, and I know we kind of harping on this, but that is so important going in this game that I know the Bears got a new guy back there, and you want to have Justin Fields in the best position possible in starting field position every time. And I'm going to suggest on special teams, do not bring that ball out on Sunday unless you know you got something. Do not have them starting at the 10-yard line, 15-yard. Take that ball at the 25. Constantly.
Hey, I'm telling y'all, I'm predicting it right now. Jakeem Grant gonna run one back. He gonna run one back Sunday.
He said, "I'm ready to go."
Whether it be a punt or a kickoff, he's gonna take one to the house. Y'all heard it here first. I'm telling y'all.
You heard it from Jaye Beasley.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this back, Jay, when it happens. Hey, anybody got any closing remarks before we close out for the night?
Yeah, that dude that was out there checking Tammy out went and bought the alphabet, said, "Yeah, baby, I went and did it, and I put you and I together."
Man, you know what? Before we close out, man, I'm just gonna have to do it for Tammy fans. I know I haven't did this in a while, but I'm gonna do it right before we close out.
Love don't mean a thing.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Love don't mean a thing. A little something for the steppers. The new single by Tammy Harris, now available on iTunes, Spotify, and all digital media outlets.
Love don't mean a thing if I don't have you. If I don't have you, love don't mean a thing. Love don't mean a thing if I don't have you. If I don't have you.
Hey, that lady. Multi-talented, and I just wanted to show that not only just Tammy is a great commentator on the show, very smart. Tammy is also talented. Tammy is a singer. But anyway, we just wanted Tammy is, I know Tammy is so humble, but I wanted to bring that up. But anyway, thank everybody for tuning in tonight to Bears Banter.
Bears.